All right, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing some whistle. This is the 7031 that I made. You guys have seen on my channel the burn test. So this whistle tooling is specifically for the screamer type of firework that I'm going for, and it is a 1/2 inch. I do have these 1/2 inch, 5 inch tubes. I'm gonna just cut those down so I can make my own sizes. These are the standard sizes that they sell, 3.5 inches, 1/2 inch, but these I had them dipped in Minwax hardener, and that's for my buzz bombs, so that way the tube doesn't really burn out. But for this type of firework, it doesn't really matter because this firework, or this whistle here, doesn't really burn through the tube. And real quick, what I wanted to talk about was I reached out to Caleb at Woody's, and he told me that whenever you make whistle, like let's say you don't have this tooling, you have to have empty space in order for the tube to, in order for the whistle to actually make a sound. So if you don't have that empty space, it's never going to whistle. This one is that it is a 1/2 inch as well, but because it's a Stinger missile, it has a short spindle, which is what you want for whistle. So that tube fits right on there like so. One thing about whistle, if you don't know, it requires a core for it to have that initial fast thrust. If you ever notice on whistle rockets, when they take off extremely fast from a start, this core is what causes it to take off really fast. Then when it gets above the spindle and it turns into a solid, that's what gives it that whistle sound, because you have a lot of empty tube. So you don't want to make a rocket with just a flat, like say if you got one of these and you just press the an end burner rocket. If you just press that all the way up, it's not going to fly really well. It doesn't have a lot of thrust. You need a small core, but you don't want an extremely long core. You have to make it small. That's why a lot of whistle tooling comes with a short spindle like that. So just keep that in mind when you're making your whistle rockets or your whistle tooling. Okay, so I've already switched my rammer line. I'm using 500 PSI for my press right now. Now this is dangerous. Do not do what I'm doing. Don't hold it like that with your hands when you're pressing whistle. It's dangerous. The only reason I'm holding it is because they don't make a support small enough for 5/16, so I'm just holding it, but I've already pressed it a couple times. I can feel that it's not going to pinch or anything, so I feel okay with it, but don't copy what I'm doing. So you can keep pressing and building up the inside if you wanted to, make it all the way full, but I'm not going to do that. It's already above the spindle, so I'm just gonna press a little bit more, and then I'm gonna leave a pretty big open space there. You use that to fill some flash, stuff like that. For these, you don't use a nozzle, and I'm gonna show you that in a second. Whistle does not require it. It's so fast, it doesn't need it. That's it. It's done. I'll go ahead and show you the finished product. So twist it off carefully because it is whistle, like I said. These you got to be very careful. That's why I've never made whistle, just because I was always nervous of it. But I feel pretty comfortable now. It's not too bad. So if you can see that on the camera, I'm not sure if it picks it up, but you get that nice red iron oxide inside of the whistle mix, and that makes it give that pink color to it. But nice smooth core, which is what the 5/16 is. So you can see there, it's pretty much halfway up the tube. And then I've already used this tooling here to make me one of these guys. So with this guy here, when you press it in, it takes up about an inch and a half, something like that, of empty space. So you can see in there that there's a nice empty space, and this is where you're going to put the fuse. The other end, I just used some clay to block it off, so it's got about 2 inches worth of comp. That empty space there should be able to give it a nice whistle. Now remember, when you're making whistle, you do not fuse it directly into the core. That's going to cause it to blow up. So when you fuse it, you want to have the fuse sticking out where just the spark can hit it, because this thing is so flammable that it'll ignite with just that little tiny spark. This 5/16 is a baby rocket, which is pretty nice. I will be doing possibly a 1/2 inch rocket with whistle as well. I made 100 grams, so that should last me a while. I know I haven't done a tutorial on here. I mean, you can find them all over the internet, but I'm gonna wait and test it out first and see if it actually whistles and all that before I actually show you guys how to make it, because I don't want to waste your time showing you a recipe or whatever and it doesn't work. I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple of ground blooms, I'm gonna take out the clay, and then I'm gonna pack them with a little bit of this whistle mix and see if I can get it to work, to do its spinning motion, and then see if it'll actually spin and whistle. So that way I can make a whistle ground bloom versus it just being a crackling ground bloom or one with the salute. I haven't ever seen anybody make one of those yet, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. As you know, on my channel, I like doing testing and different fireworks and stuff like that, small scale stuff, but pretty much that's gonna be it for this video, and eventually I will work on my 1 pound rockets, 7.5 inch rockets with whistle, once I start getting a little bit more comfortable with it. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. So if you liked what you saw, just throw a thumbs up down there, and if you want to comment, throw any kind of information in there to help others out. I don't mind it. Criticism, I don't care for it. It's pretty good. I mean, it helps me out learn. Thanks to some of you guys that actually helped me with some of the questions I had about my whistle. I wasn't sure on the burn speed and all that good stuff, but you guys were helpful, so I appreciate that. But yeah, all right, until the next video.